Good morning! Travel to Alaska with us, day 10. Today I hopped out of bed and came up to the shower. This campground has beautiful showers. And check out the surrounding area of this campground. We're enjoying it so much. We're actually not too far from Banff. This is the road that meandered through the campground until we found our camp. I got to the camp and I made myself a cup of coffee. Then we broke camp. It always seems to take longer than we think. Finally, we were back on the road, headed toward Banff. Here's Miss Cassia Spring, looking all proper. And here is the absolute stunning scenery. I couldn't get over these Canadian Rockies. I thought they were just so huge, and they seemed so close. The vastness of everything was hard to comprehend. We waited in line for quite a while to get into Banff National Park. But finally, we obtained our Canadian National Park pass and entered the park. We stopped in Banff around lunchtime. We got lunch, and then I wandered into a local grocery store there. Check out all of this smoked salmon. It must be a big deal because there was lots of it. I also went to the post office and sent some postcards. Trent purchased a soccer ball. Hey, we're here in Banff National Park. Check out the mountains behind me. Aren't they gorgeous? We are enjoying it so much. Then we got back on the road and headed towards Jasper. The road from Banff to Jasper was one perpetual calendar picture. We drove past the Columbian ice fields, and here we saw a black bear busy digging for food. Mountain peak after mountain peak kept appearing one behind the other. And then every so often there'd be a place to pull over and you could catch an epic photo. For a while we were so high in elevation that we drove beside snow-covered fields. Do you see the glacier in there? We enjoyed seeing some rather frisky mountain goats who did not seem to be shy of people. They ran right close to us. This glacier-fed river kept flowing beside the road, and at one point I decided to stop and run down and put my hand in that cold water. It was definitely worth the effort, even though my children didn't think it was necessary. Check out the color of that water. We also went past pretty many lakes, and then we were very excited to see our very first grizzly bear of the trip. He didn't even bother to look at us as we went by. When we got up close to Jasper, we saw that there had been a terrible wildfire. We drove along acres and acres of burned forest. We also saw where they were rebuilding. The gorgeous scenery continued to go by. We drove through Jasper National Park, made our way through all of the Canadian Rockies, and then the scenery began to change. The mountains gave way to rolling hills, and we found ourselves in Grande Cache, Alberta. Hey everyone. I'm here in Grande Cache, Alberta. We are getting ready to camp for the night. Let me turn the camera around so that you can see what I see. We set up camp, and then we did piles of laundry. Tisha and I are headed out to town to get some food for supper. Let's see what we find in Grande Cache. We got food in town, and then I finished the laundry around 11:30. It was still light when I crawled into bed. Good night.